For virtually all of these fire starting methods, we need some form of tinder or bird's nest, and you've just got to use what's around you. So I'm using bracken, and when I can get it, pine needles from the bottom of these trees, although it's very damp, so I can only scrape the top few, keep them in my pocket for a while. And then I've also got silver birch, and there's a lot of downed silver birch, so I can take bark off dead silver birch trees. So you'll just have to see what you've got in your area, and if necessary, improvise. If you've got only dead trees, use your knife to scrape the bark up into something useful, or punk wood from dead trees. Put it in your pocket if you have to dry it out. But there's always something in your area, unless you live in a desert, of course. Right, so for the first two methods, which we're going to get out of the way first, which you should have with you, a lighter and matches. So for this one, we'll use the lighter. We're using the feather sticks for this one, so natural feather sticks, unnatural lighter. And the wood is damp, but it is a resinous wood, so that should overcome the dampness. So just a couple more seconds and I think we can safely say that we've got fire 1 going. In your fire kit you should probably have either matches or a lighter. And that might seem like an easy way to start a fire, but it's not that easy. That's a match I previously snapped. I'll start with a new match. Now these are stormproof matches, military stormproof matches, but they don't burn for very long. So although matches might seem easy, you do need to practice with what you've got. Now I'm not making a whole fire here, so I've just been out and scavenged some birch bark because it's damp. If I were starting a fire, I've also got charcoal, but this is damp, but the birch bark will dry it out. So hold your match near the head. Don't think it's going to burn you. You've got enough time to move your thumb and finger down. Hold your striker firmly, whether it's on a box or on the side of your fire kit or wherever. Get a piece. You're going to produce a flame with this, so you're going to be able to take a flame straight to your tinder. So here we go. This won't burn for very long, and it won't burn with a powerful flame. There we go, we're off. So we've only got a little delicate flame at the moment, and matches can easily be overestimated, especially if there's a wind. So it does help to have some sort of containment. So I can just build this up now, get more and more bits of birch bark alight until I could put my sticks, my kindling on. I've just got to drive off the moisture before it'll catch. And you'll notice that birch bark curls up as it burns, so your fire can get disturbed. Right, so I think we've proved the point. That's the match then. So we'll now move on. You should really just start slow. Start slow and get the swing of it. And try not to get the string crossed. And then when it starts smoking, just carry on for a bit. You've got to push down quite hard. Push down a bit. So it is smoking now, but when you decide it's looking good, then you've got to really go for it. Well, I hadn't finished there, but actually that's not looking too bad. I've got quite a load of coals and it's still smoking, so it's not looking too bad. And it is red hot.
Yeah.
You can see it's red hot. So you've got plenty of time. There's no rush now. Then you get your tinder bundle.
Oh yeah, it's smoking quite well.
Tip it in your tinder bundle. And if you've got a bit of charcoal or anything, put a bit of charcoal in, or char cloth or something to just help it, especially as this is a fairly rubbish tinder bundle.
Fantastic. Make that look so easy, Chris.
Yeah, so well, we're not worried about it now, it worked, but that was just fresh from the, so that's ivy.
Yeah.
Ivy hearthboard, ivy spindle, wet oak bearing block, and this hazel was straight, but I bent it, because you can easily bend stuff or straighten it.
Yeah.
And then just some guy rope string. It's not even paracord.
Excellent.
So that was a success at least.
Until you find out you weren't recording.
Yeah, that's always the problem, but I was. It has recorded, and the sound switched on. Okay then, so this is one for not trying at home if you don't know what you're doing, but we're on a range, we've got access to ammunition. Every now and again you'll damage some ammunition and you have to make it safe, so you take the bullet off the cartridge. Now if you had ammunition with you and your Leatherman or your multi-tool and your axe, you may be able to use that ammunition to start a fire. So what I'm going to do is I've taken the bullet off the cartridge, tipping a good bit of that powder out, filling it full of char cloth, the cartridge, And then I'm going to try and blast that char cloth into some cotton wool and a bit of tinder. I haven't got a Leatherman, but I have got pliers. Hold it in the pliers. All squished in there. Got our axe. Holding everything firmly. That hasn't gone. Fire in the hole, take 2. Now we need to get that into the fire bundle. Tinder bundle. Right, so that's it, we've got flame, that's all we wanted. So that is a possible method, but most of you are just not going to be able to do that, and you really have to. We messed about for a bit to get it to work, but it does work. So that's one more method with the cartridge. Right then, this might be pushing it a bit, but a discarded cigarette. Provided you get there in time, of course.
Chutney sauce. There you go.
A discarded cigarette, or you could count it as going and seeking out somebody with a light. And there you go, discarded cigarette. Oh, fairly bomb-proof.
A little artistic license.
Yeah. Well, there is the case of if you need a fire, go and collar somebody and say, can you start a fire for me?
Give us your fag book, mate, I need to start a fire.
Did you casually dispense it?
Excuse me, you're in the middle of Woolworths.
I know that took a little bit of encouragement, but it obviously does happen, doesn't it?
I could feel the charcoal burning my fingers straight away.
Yeah.
I had to put it down.
Yeah.
So if I'd have done it right, you picked it up inside of a bit of a tin bundle.
I think you could have easily quite
You'd have had a flame in your hand instantly, I think.
Yeah.
Right, so now we are fire by electricity, and if for example you broke down for some mechanical reason somewhere, you could use your car battery with your jump leads and a piece of metal. No, we're using a what's it clip, a piece of metal to generate enough heat to light your tinder bundle. So we've got our jump leads, the metal is a piece of, what's that thing called?
Paperclip.
Paperclip. A big paperclip.
Trying to find it.
Right, only when you're ready.
We are ready.
As easy as that. It will work with much smaller batteries, but obviously you don't need a big piece of wire. That went quite splendid, that, didn't it?
That was spectacular.
I thought the paperclip was too thick.
Yeah, I did, to be quite honest.
Well, don't
I
sound
didn't
a
think
bit
it would go that
of
quick.
starring role there.
So this is just a test. I'm just going to see if it will work. It might work, let's see. So these unpeel easily when you can get the right, there we go. Bit of wood ash. People use lots of things. Some people have used coffee, some people have just used charcoal. I don't want it too thick. So then just roll it up as tight as you don't have to roll it up as tight as you can, because you can tighten it with the board, but roll it up tight. And then you've got to just roll it forward a few times just to tighten it up. I'm going to smack into everything here. You've got to get it tight first, otherwise it'll just mash up. And then once you've got it tight, you can put a bit of weight on it. And then once you've got it really tight, you can give it some welling. And usually, I can smell it now. Yeah, I can smell it, it's burning. Usually you won't know it's burning. And then you've got to open it up and let the air get to it, otherwise it'll go out.
Yeah.
Well, I could smell it burning there, but now I think it's stopped.
No, it's still going.
Still going, I've seen the heat coming off it.
Yeah.
I don't want to open it up and it not be going.
Maybe not.
It still see smoke coming off that.
There we go.
I did have a flame there, but now it's gone and gone out.
Looked like you sucked it in.
It feels like I've sucked it in.
Dear me. Hey.
And there we go. In the end, we got there. But you see, it's burning inside and you don't know until you've opened it up. But if you open it up and it isn't burning inside,
You've had it.
then you have to start again. So, but it is if it's all dry and you've got good...
The importance of a good tinder bundle.
Yeah.
Yeah, well this is bracken. Bracken's not a terribly good tinder bundle, but it's all we've got. All we've got.
Does that wood ash need to be bone dried?
Yeah, you would dry it out, but you...
If you came across a camp that had been abandoned and there was a bit of wood ash left in the fire, do you reckon you could get it going?
Yeah, I reckon so. Yeah.
Dig underneath, I don't know.
Yeah, get a bit of dry stuff out, get a bit of hot.
Well, you do generate a lot of heat when you're rubbing it, so it would evaporate the water off quite quickly. You've just got to give it some oomph. Do it like you mean it, not like you're just baking a cake or something.
Is there an alternative material you could use as opposed to cotton wool then?
People have...
Do you do it with like dried grass or something?
yeah, people have used jute twine. People have used jute twine, and I've seen people use cotton t-shirts, but that's cotton again, but they've used the t-shirts and spend a lot of time fluffing it up on a brick or something. Right, so my next method then is the flint and steel, and I got some flint this morning, enough nodules to smash together and get some sharp edges, but I actually found a sharp edge, so I don't have to smash them. For the steel, I'm using an old high carbon steel file. So there we go, it's starting to burn now. So that took quite a few strikes, but it's a bit windy and that's just how it works. So I'm going to put that in my tinder bundle, which is bracken. And I'm going to put a bit more in, because you might as well chance wasting a bit more than you need than it going out. And then using even more than you needed. So it's a bit damp, but that'll go. It's important to let the flames come up and not smother the flames. But anyway, that's fire with flint and steel. Right, so what we're going to try now then is fire by both refractor, which is like a magnifying glass lens, and reflector, which is like a magnifying shaving mirror. But I have neither of those. So for my refractor, I'm going to try and use a wine bottle. And for my reflector, I'm going to try and use the domed underneath of a gas cylinder. So we'll try with the refractor first, the magnifying lens. And I'm going to try and get some char cloth going. We've got some char cloth in here. I would try on this charcoal, but it's wet, so I won't be able to tell what it's doing. I just need to bring a bit of char cloth out. So it's a bit fiddly. I've done it. I've not done it with a wine bottle before, but I have done it with a 2 litre lemonade bottle. And it's just a case of focusing the sun through this domed part. See where we're at. See where the sun is. And you really want something dark, like char cloth or charcoal or dark printed material, to absorb them photons and not reflect them. I think we've got a little bit of cloud there. Trouble with char cloth, of course, is it could be a light now, because it doesn't really smoke, because it's just carbon, just turns to carbon dioxide. So it could be actually, it is, the whole thing's pretty much a light. So I probably ignited it some time ago. Oh, my hands are getting hot, so I probably did. So there we go then, we've blown that to flame, and that's our magnifying glass. And apart from the dark material you're going to ignite with it, it doesn't consume anything, especially if you can get some dry charcoal. So I'll put this out then, and then we'll try with the reflector. Now I've cut some little spills here, and I've put some little slits in the end, so I can put a bit of char cloth in there. Because the thing about a reflector is you're putting your char cloth or whatever you're using into blocking if it's large, you're using your hand, it's blocking the sun's light out. We've just got a little cloud, we'll just wait for the cloud to go by. Where's the dog? Jess, come up here, messing about. Right, so here we go then. So we pointed at the sun. Right, I have not succeeded with the gas canister, though I know it's possible because I've done it before, because I haven't spent enough time polishing that surface. But just to prove the point, I've got a bowl. So we get the char cloth, we have indeed ignited it, probably long before I realised, because again it doesn't give off smoke. So we'll put some char cloth in the tinder bundle. And we'll put the ignited char cloth in that. And there we go, we've got flame. So that's two methods then. The reflector and refractor. And you can use a lens, you can use a wine bottle, but the main thing with the lens is that rounded glass. And the same with the ball, it's that parabolic or dished silver surface. So I'll just let that burn out and we'll move on. Yeah,
There's the beam repairs.
What a honey beaker.
Ready when you are.
Right. Right, so this one's the fire piston, where again we're using a bit of char cloth in the end of the piston, and the piston goes into the cylinder, and it works on the same principle as the ignition of a diesel engine, where the compressed air heats up so much that hopefully it ignites the fire cloth. And there the fire cloth is ignited on the second go. So we're putting it into the fire, into the tinder bundle, with a little bit more char cloth in it and some bracken. And we won't start off with the excuses that the bracken's damp, but that's just the way it is. So all we need to do now is bring it to flame. And there we go, there we go, it's in flame. So we do actually need this fire to start the forge. Excellent. So that was the fire piston then.